rolling. Coach, on the brink of 400 downloads, man, I had to change the intro music. Since we done got to 400 downloads, man, we had to change some things up.
Some new.
We got to thank all the people that done downloaded these episodes, man, and we got to keep it moving. Coach, haven't been a month yet.
It's not been a month. I've been keeping up with the analytics. It's not been a month yet.
We already at 400 downloads. Let's get this thing rolling. Welcome to the Coach and Coach podcast. The guy beside me is the spread legend. He'll run it down your throat even if you don't have, and if you don't have enough in the box, he's going to tear you apart. That guy right there, his name, he's the coach. He's our offensive coordinator. He's Coach Benji, and I am your defensive coordinator, the inventor of I Train Insane Training Academy. It has nothing to do with running the defense, but I just want to plug that because it sounded good. I am your defensive coordinator. I am Coach Marks, and together we make up the Coach and Coach podcast. We are live right now on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube page, and you will not miss a live show. Also, you can listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon, or wherever you get your podcasts. Please subscribe, set your alert, set your notifications so you won't miss a show. And if you are not too mean, drop us a rating. Let us know how we're doing. Comment, and it won't cost you a dime. Coach, it's a rare Friday night, so this show got to be legendary, man. How was your day, man?
Well, playing a game last night, it kind of felt like last night should be Friday. I kind of struggled getting up this morning. I made sure the kids got on the bus and headed off to work and got a little bit done. But it definitely felt like the weekend should have started last night.
Brother, man, struggle is not the word, man. I got up about 15. I had asked my wife. I said, "Did I not get up? Did my alarm go off?" And she was like, "Yeah, but you got up and you cut it off." And I was like, "Yeah." When I looked up, brother, it was 6:40, and I was like, "Yeah, this is already not starting right." But we recovered, man. We got the thing done, and we are here tonight. Coach, look like you got some new material over there. Look like you got some new toys going on. What's going on? What you got going over there, man?
Yeah, I got a new mixer. I'll do a review on it. I'm learning as I go. I don't have a clue what's going on. I had to make sure we had to do like a 20-minute pre-show. I had my son in here. He's my technical guy.
You froze up on me, buddy. I'm going to keep the show rolling until Coach Benji come back, but he froze up on me. He froze up on me mid-sentence. Hopefully he can get back going. I'm going to shoot him a text real quick and say, "Hey, man, you froze up." But we are here tonight. And like I said, it's a different night tonight because we're usually playing a football game on tonight. But tonight, after Bruce played last night, we are just kind of we just rolling. We're rolling tonight. And it's a Friday night and it's just different. But let me shoot him a text because he froze up on me. You froze up on me, man. So we gonna go ahead. Hopefully he'll get popped back in. But he died on us mid-sentence. But look like he's trying to get everything sorted out. But we do have a good show for you guys tonight, and we just want to welcome everybody to the Coach and Coach podcast. We are trying our best to get things on TikTok, so we do ask that you share it. If you see us rolling, go ahead and share it. Share it with somebody. Let them know that the Coach and Coach podcast is on, and you don't want to miss it. Now, you might not hear my partner right now. You have to go to his TikTok page, so you're gonna hear my big mouth for the majority of it. But he just said, Coach just told me that his computer restarted, so he'll be back on in a second. So what we will do, we'll go ahead and we'll look at some high school games that's going on while Coach get that worked out. We'll look at the games that are going on tonight in our area. As you know, Bruce, we played East Union on last night, and we lost in overtime, 40 to 34, dropping us to 0-2 in the division, 5-2 on the season. East Union got their first win of the season on last night, and as we look at the rest of, I'm going to go ahead and get the games that's going on tonight in our viewing area. Just to keep you guys aware of what's going on. A lot of teams are off tonight. Council City is off tonight. Oxford is off tonight, and it's something strange when you get off nights in high school. I've only experienced one of them, and it was kind of, it's a hard week of practice because when you don't really, it seems like you don't have nothing to play for, so it feels kind of weird. But we got that. Is he back? Is he almost back? Is he coming back? Well, hopefully he's getting here soon. But right now we do have some games in progress, and we got some scores coming up already. You got East Rankin Academy beating French Camp Academy 28-7 right now. You also, I think, South Haven is traveling to Tupelo to play the Golden Wave. You got Kosciuszko at Louisville tonight. You got J.Z. George at Eupora tonight. You got Greenville at Neshoba Central tonight. You got Boonville at Belmont tonight. In the second quarter, you got Winona 6, Noxubee County 6. You got North Pontotoc traveling to Corinth tonight. In the first quarter, Choctaw County is 3, Aberdeen is 6. That game is in Aberdeen tonight. You got Vardaman at Hamilton tonight. You got Caledonia up 7-0 on Columbus in the second quarter. You got Northeast Lauderdale traveling to Choctaw Central tonight. You got Alcorn Central traveling to Mantachie tonight. You have Hatley at Thrasher tonight. Right now in the second quarter, Lafayette 14, New Hope 21. And in the second quarter, Tisch County 27, and South Pontotoc is 7. You got Starkville traveling to Germantown tonight. You got number 19 Pontotoc traveling to number 1 West Point tonight. Let's see what else we got. You got number 5 Grenada traveling to Center Hill tonight. You got number 11 New Albany traveling to Ripley tonight. And those are the scores, and that's what's going on in our area. We will keep you posted on the games that's going on in our area. As I try to give Coach a little time to get back on, we will dive into our first segment, and hopefully Coach can pop on when we get into it. But we once again just want to welcome you, and we appreciate you. We appreciate all our listeners, everybody that has made this possible. This started off as a little dream about 3 or 4 weeks ago after our Ole Miss game. We just talked about, hey, maybe we could just get on and just talk about this stuff. This is something that we normally do anyway. And you guys have made this thing successful, and we greatly appreciate all our listeners, our fans, our haters. Hey, everybody that play a part in building up the Coach and Coach podcast, man, we sure appreciate it. And as we try to get better. That's why it's important that you guys let us know. Let us know what we can do better. Let us know how we can do it better. Because if we get better, then we put out better content with you guys, and then we can make some things happen. We got Benji on the phone. Let's see what's going on right now. I'm going to plug him in. Just hold 1 second. Yeah. Hello?
Hey, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go.
Hey, I got you on live, so I want them to hear what you're saying.
Oh, I'm gonna send. Is the password and everything gonna be? Instead of going through my computer, I'm just gonna go through my phone. So I'm about to go join Zoom through my phone. I'm gonna hook my mic and stuff up to my phone, and we can just stream from there.
All right, it still be the same. You sound so disappointed, man. I'm so sorry.
I am I'm ready to throw this.
Yeah, but you had to rush it. You had to wait till your amplifier and your mic and all of that got in, and it got in late, man. So hey, it's understandable. You got a couple of days you can work with it, man. But everybody hear you, and just make sure you don't cuss nobody out.
I'm not. I'm gonna keep it clean for a minute.
All right, but everything will still be the same, and I'll just keep running my mouth until you get back on because I don't want to jump into this without you because I don't like calling plays. I'm just a defensive coordinator. I don't do offense.
All right, I'll be on there in a second.
All right. All right, we're about to get all this stuff back rolling. That was him. He just gave me a call. He's trying to get everything worked out, and I know this for a fact. You got to have time to get all that stuff together because you get the rushing and trying to get the everything together. But once again, we're thankful, we're grateful for everybody that has made this show possible. We appreciate everybody that has that all the comments. That's why it's important. We want you guys to comment and let us know how you feel. We want you guys to talk to us and rate us. Rate us. If it's a good rating, fine. If it's not, we'll take it. That's the only way we're gonna get better. We're mature enough and we're big enough that we can handle criticism. So if you gotta criticize, then that's fine. But let's look at the Thursday scores while we're on here, while we're waiting for Coach to get back on. You had H.W. Byers beating Smithville 32-28 on last night. You had East Webster beating Philadelphia 29-6. You had Okolona losing to North Point Christian 42-20 on last night. You had Amory recovering from the loss from last week to Houston. They beat Morville 27-24. Saltillo beat Olive Branch 28-21. Nanawaya beats Noxapater 41-16. You got Baldwin beating Water Valley 43-12. You got Myrtle shutting out Strayhorn 48-0. You have TCP, Tupelo Christian Prep, beating Rossville Christian Academy 35-21. So those were the area games on last night. And we will keep you posted on the games that's going on tonight. But we do have a good show for you tonight. I told Coach that it look like he's knocking at the door. Let me see who's knocking at the door. Hello? Who is this? Is he back? Well, he's on mute right now. Well, while Coach is getting all that stuff together, we're gonna hopefully his mic will pop right on. Look like I do hear something. Coach, are you still there? Are you there, man?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, man.
Okay.
You got your mic hooked up to the phone?
Yeah, it came with a cord that I can. If you can talk to him for one more second, I'm gonna go get me a block that I can.
Yeah, this is super clear, buddy.
Okay, give me 1 second.
All right, and what we I will go into one story while we're waiting on Coach to get there. We got reports on yesterday, on the other day that LeBron James, 40-year-old LeBron James, is going to be out for the next 3 or 4 weeks with a sciatic diagnosis. LeBron is just getting old right now, and those little pains now. And then maybe they said he should be sidelined for 3 to 4 weeks, which means he might miss the opener. And I don't recall LeBron in his 22 years of playing basketball ever missing an opener. So this is going to be a strange time, but it's just letting you know that no matter how much we take care of our body, Father Time will win. It's going to eventually win. And if you listen to the show on Wednesday night, LeBron really had me ticked off because LeBron had me thinking that he was going to retire. But since he's dealing with this ailment right now, maybe LeBron needs to reconsider retiring. But he will be out for the next 3 to 4 weeks. It's a low. If you ever had one of those things, it's matter of fact, I got a friend of mine right now that's dealing with a sciatic nerve. I got another friend of mine that's dealing with it. And it's an ailment that it presses on your nerve, and for some people it causes a lot of pain in their lower leg, and it's just that lower spine area, and it's that nerve pressing down. LeBron has more. He got more access to different doctors. He got more access to things than we would have. So he probably can get through it without surgery, but. My two friends that got this same issue, both of them are getting prepared for surgery. So I know it said that LeBron will be out 3 to 4 weeks, and maybe his is not as severe as most people is. But when you deal with that pain, I remember as a power lifter, I pinched my nerve a lot. That was something that was common for me because I guess because my body was doing something that it wasn't designed to do. And I pinched a nerve so bad one time that I thought I had pulled my hamstring. And I was dealing with a trainer, and the trainer, he got with me. He checked me and everything, and he let me know that I had some lower back issues that was forming. I even tried to go through a meet. Without and I didn't make it through the meet. It was probably my worst meet ever. But doing that, I found out that it was a back issue. So, LeBron got more people that he can deal with. And they will probably get him squared away. But at this point, there's no sense of rush. I mean, you're 40 years old. You'll be 41 in December. I don't see what sense would it make for LeBron to even be trying to rush back right now. But he will miss that opener. I think he's going to miss that opener, or maybe he won't. Maybe LeBron say, "Hey, I'm going to do what Ray Lewis did." What was that? Before the Super Bowl, he took some goat peel. I don't know what he took, but I know he came back from a torn tricep, and you weren't supposed to be able to come back that quick. Coach, what's up, man? You just popped up on me, man. You scared me.
Yeah, I apologize to everyone.
Oh, we good to go, man. We good to go. Coach, all right, we're gonna go into our first segment, man. First story of the day, and as I pull this up, and we do apologize. I tried my best to bleep out as much as I could bleep out because he was pretty mad, and when we talk about it, it'll make sense to you. But I'm gonna go ahead and play the clip.
Out your mouth when you don't know what you're talking about. Keep my name and my image. Don't try. When I won championships on every level, when they can knock, I call passes in the midst of pain. Y'all don't do that. Y'all ain't never had to do that. So shut the hell up. Trying to career on what I have done. You are none of these and do the things I did, so shut the hell up. Sick of it. I take it, I listen. When I come out where you caught more pass, I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn about none of that. I won championships. That means I went in and made plays where pain lived.
All right, Coach, what happened right there is that was Michael Irvin. And if you see Michael Irvin, man, if you ever want somebody to motivate your team, call Michael Irvin. But what had happened, Coach, was somebody had posted that Deion Sanders never guarded, the type of receivers that's out right now. And they mentioned Michael Irvin. And rightfully so, Michael Irvin took offense to what they was mentioning. And Coach, my question is this generation going too far?
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, like, if you look at Michael Irvin at 58, 59 years old, he could play right now.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
He could absolutely play. You can't sit there and say that Deion's one of the greatest DBs of all time and then sit there and turn around and say he didn't guard some of the best receivers. You can't do that. And then you look at Michael Irvin's size, weight, and everything. I think in today's NFL, he would eat it alive because it's an offensive game now. He could play anywhere, so many different spots. Yeah, it's too far. Like, the man would be a Hall of Famer if he was 21 years old coming out and had a career now. He'd be a Hall of Famer at the end of it.
Coach, I'm going to read some just his professional stats. He was with the Cowboys from 1988 to 1999. He played in 159 games, had 750 receptions for 11,904 yards, had 65 touchdowns. Playoffs, the money maker. This is what it's all about. He played in 12 games, 87 receptions, 1,315 yards. But the best thing about that, he had 8 touchdowns. But what he was saying, 3-time Super Bowl champ, was a 5-time Pro Bowler, was a 3-time first team All-Pro, and he was a part of the 1990 All-Decade team. Now, I understand that people, and I credit you sometimes because whenever we get to talking about Bruce history, you'll say, hey, I didn't see them, but you don't knock what they did because you didn't see them. And
Right.
it pains me right now when you see this generation, not saying I don't want to be one of them old heads like, this is the guy, because man, I like these receivers now, man. I like a lot of the players right now. But the fact of the matter is that Michael Irvin at Miami, Michael Irvin with the Dallas Cowboys, for you to act like he wasn't that guy and saying, and then what and all it was, Michael Irvin caught a stray. They was taking shots at Deion Sanders.
Right.
People wouldn't even throw on Deion's side, man. The man could recover better than anybody. I've yet to see a cornerback that could give up so much and could cover ground. Maybe you can help me out with this. You tell me what corner that you've seen that can do what Deion, because Deion will let you get 5 or 6 yards ahead of him.
Yeah, I mean, you could talk about there's different corners that stick out, but I mean, Deion's like that gold standard, like just an athlete, period. And when you brought it up today, I went and looked at, I will say, like, the NFL Network history YouTube page is better than the NFL Network. Like, anybody, to me, if I was Michael Irvin, I would just be like, hey, they posted a video on there about 11 months ago of just pure highlights versus Deion Sanders, and it is some of the most beautiful receivers, like from stacking and getting a release, and then also like corners. Like it's beautiful. Like, everybody needs to go check it out. And I think it's two greats, not two good players, not two players that had a run in a decade. I think it's two greats going at each other, and it's just pure tape.
And it's just a thing that it's one of those things, like you get the argument about Michael Jordan, you get the argument about LeBron, you get the argument about Kobe. It's like, why can we not let greatness just be great in where they at? Why we gotta make man, look at number 14. He is such a great player. Look at him. He's a great guy right there. That guy's a great guy right there. But anyway, he just caught my eye. I was just fixing my camera. But number 14 is a great guy right there. But it's just like, why we just can't just enjoy like the great players now? Why do we have to compare?
Well, I just think it's the eras that you live in. I think it's just a natural, like, it's like a human thing. I just think it's something that we do. And then, it's everybody's got to have a take. We decided to have a podcast so that we got a take. I mean, everybody's got to have a take. But I've always been like, now I think there is an argument in some sports, if you go back far enough. Like, I think there's a modern era that you should judge in just about every sport, that you should judge pre-modern era and postmodern era, because rules change, the type of athletes that are allowed to participate change.
Exactly.
But this was in the modern era. This fits well within the NFL modern era.
Yeah.
So I think it's.
I
don't think it was a good take.
He was one of the reasons the Cowboys, at the time I was a 49er fan, and they were in our way. And that was, I hated Michael Irvin because he always made the catch. Him, Alvin Harper, I hated Troy Aikman. Emmitt Smith made me sick. And that freaking offensive line, which probably will go down as the greatest offensive line in professional football history. And so I don't know, man. But like you said, Michael Irvin, in this day and time where you can't jam a receiver, you can't touch a receiver, where he lived at got him hurt. You can't knock nobody out now.
He would eat this generation. Like, I think he would eat this generation alive, because the man was 6'2", playing a dominant, outside threat. And in today's world, they can move. They would be moving him around, motioning him. Like, he would do so.
Oh, man.
The schemes today, and it's not like the scheme's changed a ton, but there's just wrinkles in it that he didn't experience, and
But coach,
I think he'd be great today.
your route change when somebody they can't jam you 10 yards up the
Right. Yeah.
now. So now that's going to change, my route pattern. So I get it, man. I understand. And we'll get to it when I get to story time today, because we do got a segment called Story Time that I get to tell one of my stories. I got a lot of them, but we'll wait till we do that. But yeah, I definitely understand what Michael Irvin was ticked off about. Coach, I want to go back to what we talked about on Wednesday night, or I think it was Wednesday night, and they finally made a decision. Coach, what is going on in Cleveland?
Well, I think they decided, from what I looked at today, that Shedeur is going to be the number 2 quarterback. So
why is it such a game?
I just think it goes back to what we had discussed previously. I think there's ownership sees it in one direction, and the coach sees it in the other direction. And I think Sanders would have been the number 2 anyway, but now that you throw in a media element with the head coach, he got to play that out a little longer and make it seem like he was evaluating when I think it was a done deal. But I mean, when is Cleveland not, like, when have they not been a game? Like, it's just,
Well, my question to you is, how long? Let's just say Dylan Gabriel, in which to the most part, I really don't see no reason why he shouldn't be. If you named him the starter, and he, even though they didn't win, he played an okay game, wasn't a great game, wasn't, and how many first-year quarterbacks in their first start do play a lights-out game? But at what point that the decision got to be made? Do you think Stefanski will go to Shedeur, or will he bypass him and go straight to Billy Zappi?
No, I think if it ever came to that point, I think he'll go to Shedeur. But I'm with you. I think that Gabriel's, I know it's one start, but that, for your rookie start in a different country, I thought he did well enough that I don't think there's a conversation there about starting quarterbacks.
Yeah.
But if something happened, I think it's going to be Shedeur.
Well, I mean, he have helped escalate this circus. Like, I really think that he could have did something to stop all of this, because you had a fire in drafting Shedeur, and you have helped put gas on the fire when you could have got a fire extinguisher and start to knock out some of the flames. So this whole media circus, your help, and I don't know if it's, I don't know what's going on there, man. This is one time out of all the years, and I go back to my Tebow thing. Out of all the years outside of Tebow's situation, this is once again a situation that I do not understand, and it does not make sense to me.
Yeah, I think I just think it's it's just the situation of Cleveland. None of it makes sense to me. But I just think that's what it's going to be. I don't know if they expected a trade possibility at some time. I don't know. Like, it is weird, but
I think they're afraid, because what if he is that good? What if Shedeur is that good and you trade him away?
Yeah, maybe that's why they've held off. Like, maybe they thought somebody would come calling along that would give them something, that even though he is that good, the value you got in the trade, I don't know. But he's not proven enough for that. So it's a weird situation.
And it really didn't make sense to send him anywhere in the, if you're going to send Flacco to Cincinnati, you already said you don't really, you're not really believing in Flacco anyway. But if you send Shedeur to Cincinnati and he gets Cincinnati rolling because Cincinnati has weapons on the offensive side of the ball, outside of their poor offensive line, but they do have skilled players that can cause some damage. So it do make sense not to send him to Cincinnati. I don't even know if Cincinnati inquired about him, but it wouldn't have made sense to send him to Cincinnati because they are in your division. And right now it's too early to say you're out of it. But I do have one question. If Stefanski, if he finishes the season below 500, is he the head coach of the Cleveland Browns next year?
I think it goes yes, because I wanted to pose this question to you when we got into the Dart situation or the New York, or talk about the New York Giants.
You know what, Coach? Let's go ahead and segue to it then. You want to just go straight to it?
Yeah, we can go to it because I think we can tie the question I'm going to pose. I think we could tie both situations together.
Okay. Let me play this clip first. This is we talked about this a few weeks ago. Concerning is also concerning Jalen Hurts because they have a Philadelphia. It's crazy. You just won a Super Bowl and it seemed like there's a mess over there right now. But boy, tell you, what have you done for me lately? It just don't work. But this is from Cam Newton in July.
Everybody's going to get mad at this. Cam hating on Jalen Hurts. It's hard for me to grade Jalen Hurts with the talent that he has around him. Jalen Hurts is a great quarterback. But if we're talking about what they bring to the table holistically, it's hard to judge what Jalen Hurts can do when you're throwing to a guy like A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. When you have tight end skill set, you have a dominant defense, the best running back in the game. Download Madden and see how many stars is on the offensive side of Philly. Like you got King Henry, Zay Flowers, Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely, those guys, that's cool. But when you're comparing, Lamar Jackson still shows you why he's an elite player. Josh Allen has to play elite in order for them to play. Lamar Jackson has to play at a high level for the Baltimore Ravens, even though that they have a dominant defense. Patrick Mahomes, he got a lot of talent. But boy, oh boy, you can't put no John Doe in Patrick Mahomes and think that they still gonna win the way they win it. I understand that. Jalen Hurts does not have to play elite for the Philadelphia Eagles to win. He has to play good, but he doesn't have to play elite. We're not asking you to win the game. We're just asking you not to lose it. When you ask that question, are we winning because of you, solely because of you, or is it the resources around you?
So, Coach, is his assessment, because this was his assessment in July, and they lit Cam Newton up saying he was a hater. Jalen Hurts won a Super Bowl. You didn't. You could have jumped on the football. And just what they did to Cam is going to be good in story time because people like to call out what you don't do when they're upset. Is that a fair assessment of Jalen Hurts?
Yeah, I think so. But this ain't the first time we've been through this with the Eagles. Like, I feel like they have these like ebbs and flows with them. Like they'll, you go back to the Super Bowl that they lost to Kansas City, and it seemed like they just trailed off, and then they come back. Like they just have these very high moments and these very low moments. But I absolutely agree with him. Like there's a ton of offensive firepower there. Like you're not asking him to be Superman, and there should be enough around him. There's enough around him that even on a bad night, he should be able to put stats up.
Well, Coach, he's having last night he had passing his highest total of the year. He had 283 yards passing, but 110 of those went to Dallas Goedert, and A.J. Brown is very quickly. Will A.J. Brown be a Philadelphia Eagle next year?
It makes you wonder. I think it all depends on, how this turns out. I don't know. You're more into the pro side of it than I am. But anytime you have those top 5, top 10 wide receivers in the game that's not getting that production, that's a position group that will be like, I got to get up out of here in a hurry.
and Coach, the thing is, the Super Bowl didn't solve his disgruntledness.
Yeah, it's not the championship thing. It's production.
Because some people be like, you won the Super Bowl, you ought to be fine. but he's still upset, and he's visually showing his frustration. But Jackson Dart on the other end, Jackson Dart had he did what he had to do. Now Scatterbo, that's who was the man last night. Had 3 touchdowns. Even though they was all short runs, but he had 98 yards rushing last night, and once again, Philadelphia's defense is starting to get in the way of Philadelphia. But Jackson Dart had he was 17 for 25, 195 yards, and a touchdown. Is it his job now?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I look at both of them as they're just guys that you would want. Like I'm thinking I've coached offensive line, the mindset of offensive line, their personality types are they're guys you want to go block for, they're guys you want to protect.
Yeah.
I think and this is on a professional level, like they are. I mean, they're professionals. They have a professional mindset. I think they're 2 players that can make a team want to play differently. You know, they can, and they're rookies. So I think the Giants handled this last draft like about as well as you could handle it.
Yeah. And especially when their front office hasn't really handled much. When you look around and you see Barkley, who wins the Super Bowl, you see Daniel Jones looking like Peyton Manning in Indianapolis.
I think the disappointment for them is, why is the defense, like, I thought they were going to be a team that, regardless of who played, Russell Wilson, Jackson Dart, Jameis Winston, they were going to struggle to score, but they were going to play really good defense. And I mean, they showed flashes of being really good defensively, but like they played the Saints last week and could not, like, had no answer. So that's that. If I'm a Giants fan, that would be my concern is, like, what is going on with it? There's too many guys on that side of the ball. Like, it should be better than that.
The turnovers really caused a problem last week, and it's just, especially with this, the Saints is a bottom tier defense this year, and it's just the offense could not get going, and they really put the defense in some bad situations. But to your point, the defense was the draft and free agency. Their defense should be better.
They had guys wanting to wear Lawrence Taylor's number. Like, you can't say you want to wear Lawrence Taylor's number and not put up Lawrence Taylor.
Somebody should have slapped him, because you have no reason asking for the greatest linebacker in NFL history and you want to wear his number. No, go get you a T-shirt and get you a magic marker and put 56. Matter of fact, you better get Lawrence Taylor to sign it for you. Man, it goes back to that first segment. The nerve of this generation, man.
Yeah.
Michael, I mean, you talking about Lawrence Taylor. Man, this man single-handedly, linebackers now are getting paid because he revolutionized that outside linebacker position. Go find you a Nintendo Tecmo Bowl and get the Giants and put your man on Lawrence Taylor and see how successful you'll be.
Right. But I'll go ahead and pose the question, because it led into the segment. So you asked me, so I'll ask you. Yeah. Brian Daboll, do you wipe his slate completely clean? Because to me, it seems like the franchise trusted him in drafting Dart. He loved everything about him, from the interviews to getting on the board, going over plays, coverages, and everything. Does that automatically, like, if you believe that for the franchise to work, it works with this quarterback coach situation, do you wipe his slate clean? So that would be going back to Cleveland. If he thought that Gabriel's the guy, does he get more time because these are rookie quarterbacks who, if you wipe the slate clean, Daboll's 1-1 with Dart as a starter, and the Browns are 1-0.
Oh, he's 2-1.
2-1. Yeah, exactly. So does that change? Do you wipe the slate clean, and that changes the landscape of your organization? Like, do you
I think with both of them, I think both teams would have to do something amazing for those coaches to keep their job, because it's just me personally. When you made the initial decision to go with Flacco, you made the initial decision to go with Russell Wilson. Whether it was influenced by the front office or not, you're going to be known for, you are the head coach that said Russell Wilson is my guy. You are the head coach that said Joe Flacco is my guy. And here we are in week 4, week 5. You change from Flacco to Gabriel.
One of them's been traded to a completely different team.
Traded to you don't even, he's so invaluable to you that you traded him inside of your division.
And Russell Wilson's like a shell of himself. Like,
yes. So with that right there, I think those quarterbacks will have to do something. The team would have to do something extraordinary for those coaches to keep their job, because
this year,
yes, it's usually, especially with Daboll, Stefanski. I think they're both in the same situation. One for different reasons, but I feel like that they would have to make the playoffs. And Cleveland got a shot because Baltimore is terrible. Pittsburgh is not great. They right now they're in first place because of a process of elimination, and Cincinnati is struggling. So Cleveland, even at their record, still has a chance to win the North.
right?
New York, beating Philadelphia was big because you get a division game. Losing to the Cowboys, I mean, if they could have got that game, so their division is still pretty strong. They got a tougher division to deal with. You got to deal with Washington, you got to deal with Philadelphia, and you got to deal with the Cowboys. But I think because of, and sometimes it's just unfortunate. Sometimes it's just the way the NFL go, because in order for us to move forward, and you know how New York is. New York is I'm concerned about the Jets coaching.
Yeah.
If he don't win, let's say he go 2-15 this year, he's out.
Yeah, he probably is.
He's done. He would, in order for him to keep his job, I think he has to win 6 games. If he go 2 games, 3 games, I think he's out, because New York is a hard play. Crap, look at the New York Knicks. Got to the conference final, and they fired their coach.
The New York media will force you into situations where you've got to make changes quickly.
So that's why I feel like Eli Manning is a Hall of Famer, because he had to deal with that and flipped around and had won 2 Super Bowls against the greatest quarterback of all time.
Yeah.
Man, you know how painful it is for me to say that. Oh my God!
He kind of felt like
a headache.
This is totally diving off, and so pull me back on the rails, get me back on the tracks. But we were talking about LeBron the other night. I feel the exact same way I feel about LeBron. Is like the trajectory of whether I liked or disliked him is the same way it was with Tom Brady. By the end of it, I think I just accepted that he's probably the greatest of all time, and
he is.
He's not in the AFC with the Titans anymore. So,
and I'm so mad at the Seahawks. I'm mad at the Atlanta Falcons. Them 2 teams could have kept him off of Joe Montana, but no. The Falcons blew a 30-plus lead, and then the Seahawks decided, let's throw it. Oh, and I also blame the officials, because that funky tuck rule, he would have never got to the first one. Because that was a fumble. That game was over with. So, with those two situations, it's going to be interesting to see how it go the rest of the year. And I think pretty much whatever that we said is going to come to fruition if they do what they have to do. But like I said, I always go back to Joe Flacco was your quarterback, and Russell Wilson was your quarterback, and in 3 games you made that change. You just, what did they not show you in a whole training camp that was going to be so different? Russell Wilson, you can go just watch film from the last 2 years.
Yeah.
He hasn't shown anything. It's over with for, and I don't know if he want to be a career backup. It's just over with. Go get your little slicky hair and slick it to the back. Go get on CBS. Go get on Fox. Go get on somewhere and just be a commentator. He will.
He's
I think he'll be great
he's
at
owed
that.
a lot of money too. I mean, he's probably
Yeah.
fine riding right where he's at.
Yeah. So just go preserve your life, man, and we ain't got to see the moon ball no more.
Yeah.
Well, Coach, we're gonna dive into this. Is the first one of these, and I told you I have a lot of stories, man, and I wish I'll be glad when we can get interactive, so we can get questions. So I guess the questions got to come from you tonight. But we're gonna do a segment which we basically gonna call this segment story time. So let me go ahead and get the story time going, and Tonight's story time is brought to you by me.
It's story time.
Coach, as you can see, I don't have nothing to do. I just make stuff up. But story time, story time, story time. Coach, I wanted to tell a story tonight about me. I want to tell a story about me. Story time will be about me. I'm watching my timer. And you know, I've been coaching for a long time, and I've heard my criticism, and I dealt with the different things people unsaid, and the one thing that people always go to when they're frustrated with me, Coach, they always say, "How is he gonna coach and he never played?"
Oh, he's about to answer the question right now.
I always get that. Let me see. Can I? I always get that question. How can he? When people get mad at me, they say, "How can he coach and he never played?" Well, Coach, I got a story for you. If you can give me 5 minutes of your time, we're gonna tell this story.
Go ahead, sir.
Coach, well, you know, back in 1985.
Hit the what button one time. What?
1985, I started playing baseball. I was 9 years old, wasn't very good. Back then, Coach, you couldn't leave the dugout. You know how it is now. Kids get Gatorade, Powerades, Bubble Gum, Sonic,
Yeah.
Subway, Pizza Hut, a new pair of shoes, some blue jeans, and 3 cell phones, and they get it all in the dugout. Well, back then, you couldn't leave the dugout. Back then, you know, you could only play 7 innings. Coach, guess what inning I went in that year?
What was that?
The 5th inning. They put me in to pinch run because I couldn't hit. So my first year of baseball, Coach, I sat on the bench. But that next year, I said, I'm not sitting on the bench this year. Coach, let me tell you what I did. I went and I learned how to hit a little bit, and I found out that, man, you fast you're a little short guy, but you can move. So, Coach, I went back. I was playing on the Cubs. My coach was my first coach. I forgot to mention my first coach was Daryl Logan. Oh, my goodness. He was my first coach. So the next year, man, I got to playing ball, and man, I started hitting the ball. And guess what? I played the first inning all the way to the 7th. Coach, guess what they gave me at the end of the year?
You made the All-Star team.
I made the All-Star team on my 2nd year of playing baseball. 10 years old, I'm on the All-Star team. We played in Eupora that year, and I'll never forget it. I was sitting in the outfield. Casey Clark, I'm sorry, man, but I gotta tell the story. We was playing Eupora, and I was in the outfield. Casey Clark was at catcher, and the thunder roam. It hit hard. That's not thunder, that's a gun. Sorry, but that's the only sound I could come up with. When the thunder hit, Casey dropped the glove, and he ran to his dad and said, "Help me." And I was sitting in the outfield like, why are we still playing this game? But, Coach, I made the All-Star that year. So, Coach, I played baseball from 9 to 15. Let's fast forward to 1989. Well, coach, in 1989, I entered the 7th grade. Man, that was a long time ago. Mark Yarber was the head football coach of the Bruce Trojans. I think that year the seniors were Percy Evans and Dietrich Doolittle. They went 3-7 though. They didn't do very well, but the 7th grade team, we had that mighty wishbone. Stephen Box was our quarterback. We had Dwayne Collins, which is Kobe Collins' dad, at fullback. I was at tailback, and Dan Campbell was the other tailback. Didn't score a touchdown that year, but I had some yards. Coach, I made some tackles. I had a Nakona helmet, didn't have no padding in it. Probably would get a coach fired right now if you put a kid in that. But coach, I played hard. Man, I was number 36 because my brother wore number 36. So I wanted to wear number 36. So I played hard that year. Fast forward to the next year, they fired Coach Mark Yarber. Then they bring in this coach by the name of Dennis Robbins. And he brought in some people. He brought a man by the name of Phil Ferguson in. He brought in another guy by the name of Mike Ray in. And Mike Ray was our 8th grade quarterback. Now, I've already told Mike Ray this. I told him I hated his guts when I was in the 8th grade because, coach, I don't believe kids need to be doing bull in the ring for 30 minutes. It's a dangerous drill. You can't see who's about to hit you. But we did it anyway. He told me we needed to get tough. I didn't know what that meant. I just felt like he wanted me to go to the hospital. But 8th grade year went on. Man, we had a good year. I scored my first touchdown. Tyrone Corbett. He dropped back. He threw me the ball, and I caught it in the end zone. Didn't know what to do with the ball. I thought I could spike it, but I thought about it. This is junior high. I can't spike no ball. I'm gonna get in trouble. But at the same time, that same year, we played Calhoun City. We played Calhoun City in Bruce during school. That means everybody was watching. And coach, I'll never forget it. Derek Vonado. They gave him a sweep. Coach, here I am, number 36, 5'2", 98 pounds. I ran into Derek Vonado. Pow! And he drugged me 40 yards. But I held on to his belt.
Never let go.
I didn't let go. They fussed at me. Frederick Miller, Dan Campbell, Mac Ursha, Brad Logan, they were fussing at me. I said, why didn't y'all come and help me bring him down?
Where's the cavalry?
Nowhere to be found. But anyway, we moved forward to my 9th grade year. Man, we got a good team this year. We got Migo, we got Ant Spencer, man, we got Jason Jenkins, we got all these people on our team. And back then, coach, we didn't do what they do in junior high now. We had special teams. You had kickoff, kick return, punt return. It was just like a real game. Matter of fact, we was on a mission that year, coach. We was trying to win the championship. Yes, we had a championship in junior high football. Just 2 years before that, Roger Armstrong team won the championship. And they always walked around with their little coats on. I got mad. I wanted a coat, coach. I said, let's get this coat. And we did all right. I only played defense that year. Some reason they moved me off a running back, all because Donnie Logan said I didn't hit the hole. But coach, I only weighed 100 pounds. What's the use of me going into a hole to get knocked out of the hole? So I decided to turn the 26 power into a 28 sweep. I turned the 22 dive into a 29 sweep. I'm not finna hit a hole. The hole was hitting me. But anyway, we had a good year. We lost to Coffeyville, but we got Coffeyville again in the championship game right here at Bruce High School Trojan Field. Man, I was sitting there. I remember I came out because our receiver got hurt, and I got out there, and I heard the Coffeyville coaches say, watch number 36, watch number 36. And I looked at them, I said, they're not throwing me the ball, buddy. Y'all are fine. But, you know, we went on. We lost that game, man. I still blame Mac Ursha right now. He stole that pass that was headed to Brad Logan, and I don't know if Brad would have caught it, but we lost the game. And so at the end of the 9th grade year, I went out. We did spring. It's time for high school. High school is a little different, coach. People are faster.
Yeah.
Whoa, Roger is still playing football? I gotta hit him? I don't want to hit Roger. I don't want to play against these guys. So we have basketball tryouts. Coach Johnson, who just 2 years ago took a team to the state championship. Well, June of that year, Coach Johnson read off his list. He said, these are the guys that made the team. And he read each name. And then he got to my name. He said, Yarnell Marks, you made the team. I made an executive decision on that day that I was no longer going back to football. I just made the basketball team. I'm not going back out there to get hit no more. I'm not going out there to run no more. I'm not finna be hot no more. I'm finna sit in this gym. But guess what Coach Johnson did? He left in July, just out of the blue. He leaves, go to South Pontotoc, and here comes Coach Boss. Coach Boss comes in and said, we have to try out again. We got to try out again. So here I am in July trying out again. Well, I made the team, but Coach Boss forgot to give me a suit. So when the season started, I sat on the bench with no suit. And I practiced every day. Hey, coach, when will I get my suit? We'll get it soon. Okay. I kept on practicing. I practiced in October. I practiced in November. Practice in December. Practice in January. Practice in February. In February, I done had enough practicing because I don't have a suit. So I made another executive decision along with a couple of the seniors, and we walked out. So I quit, coach. I quit basketball. So, hey, I don't play football no more. I don't play basketball no more. Let me go ahead and go back to my first love. Let's go back to baseball. Everything is fine. Coach Phil Ferguson is the head coach. Man, this is going to be fun. Man, this is going to be exciting. And one day it rained. It's like 40 degrees outside. I was like, whew, glad we finna go home. Then we get a call over the intercom. Beep. We need all baseball players to report to the elementary gym for baseball practice after school. And I looked at the woman, I looked at the screen and I said, this is a trick, ain't it? We don't practice in rain in summer league. It's cold outside. So coach, once again, I made an executive decision and I went home. Never went back out there because you're not supposed to throw baseballs inside. That's dangerous, man. People throw hard now. I'm not finna go into no little gym and throw ball. So I left that. Hey, track. Let's go do track. Hey, man, I can run a little bit. I'm fast. Well, after 3 weeks of track, everybody quit. I said, wait a minute, where y'all going? We ain't doing this. Coach, our track team that year was 2 people. I wasn't one of them. I made another executive decision. I'm not staying out here by myself. So, coach, there it is. I done quit everything. Everything. So by the time we get to my 11th grade year, I went back to football in the spring. I said, you know what, man? I got to get back on this. I'm finna get back out here. Went through the spring, man, was hitting people. Man, I like, boy, it's gonna be on this year. I'm back to where I need to be at. Yeah, I'm back to where I need to be at. But then something happened, coach. Me and a guy from Bruce, his name is Rodney Judah. We call him Bean. Him is Percy's younger brother. We started a group, and our group got signed. And that summer before my senior year, we opened up for H-Town. We opened up for Blackstreet. We were open up for Jermaine Dupree. We opened up for Gerald Levert. Coach, at that point, I'm not going back to no football field.
Thought it was a done deal.
It's over with, man. I'm not going back out there. I'm famous now. So I say all of that to say this, coach. Everybody feels because they didn't see me out there that I'm not qualified to coach. But coach, this is what people forget. And we're going to move on. I became a power lifter. And in my powerlifting time, I was one of the best in the nation. If you need some documentation, I dare you to Google
Google him.
Yarnell Marks powerlifting, and you will see my whole season. You'll see my career. And one thing you're going to see a lot of is one. So I was banging it on the powerlifting circuit. Then
I do have a question. When did you start the powerlifting?
I started powerlifting in 2008.
Because I remember, I didn't know you other than Trail's dad, and I remember us. We always played Little League baseball, and I remember seeing you, and then baseball was over, and then you popped up the next baseball season. I was like, that man got big. Like,
I was training in the gym in Amory. The gym owner came up to me and he said, "Hey man, have you ever thought about bodybuilding?" And I heard all the myths about bodybuilding. I was like, dude, I don't want that stuff because not for health reasons, but there was another side effect that I did not want a part of. So I said, you know what? They can have them roids. I don't want them. So he said, well, how about powerlifting? So he introduced me to powerlifting, and then boom, I did my first powerlifting meet in Meridian at the state games, and then it went on from there. Man, I was able to go to Vegas. I did a whole bunch of things. I was able to see a whole bunch of things. But the thing is, people tend to think that I'm not qualified to coach because they didn't see me play. Well, let me tell everybody and let me put a stamp on the story. Not just because you didn't see me play, don't mean I didn't know how to play. I was bad at what I done. At basketball, I couldn't shoot, but man, I could dribble that thing and I could pass that thing. Man,
one more time.
I could dribble that thing and I could pass that thing. I learned how to shoot when I started coaching because I felt like if they can do it, I can do it. And that's when I learned how to shoot. And then when I may not have been the fastest, but man, when I bounced to that outside, you wasn't going to catch me. You wasn't going to catch me. In baseball, I couldn't hit very well, but if I got on base, that was, second and third was mine. It was mine. And as a powerlifter, it's well documented. I was one of the best world record holder. At one point, I was number 7 in the nation in the 181 class. So for everybody that thinks I am not qualified to be a coach because you didn't see me play, all I can say is you better check my records. We can move on.
Mic drop.
Mic drop. Now, coach, let's wrap this thing up with a little Bruce football, and let me give them an update of what's going on in the area right now. Let me update this thing because I know these people are not still in the second quarter. Okay, right now, Tupelo is up 43-13 in the third quarter. Neshoba Central is up 21-14 at halftime. Corinth is blanking North Pontotoc 24-0 at halftime. You got Choctaw Central up 28-8 over Aberdeen in the third quarter. You got Caledonia 21-6 to Columbus in the third quarter. Alcorn Central 12-6 in the third quarter against Mantachie.
Hey, hang in there.
Let's go, Coach Warren, and make it happen. Winona 6, Noxubee County 6 in the third quarter. Checking other updates, Tishomingo County is 34, South Pontotoc 14 in the third quarter. West Point is handling Pontotoc 30-6 at halftime. And that's the only scores that I'm seeing right now. Coach, let's wrap this up with some Bruce football and let's talk about what is next.
Okay.
What is next?
Who they got next? Is Palmer next?
Yeah, we go to Palmer next.
Well, that's what you got next. I mean, I don't know. I think I heard a lot of people say a bunch of different things last night, and I think that where do you want to go with this conversation?
Well,
Steer this, because I think I could go a lot of different ways and get off the rails. Like,
I don't want to dive into the playoff scenario because it's null and void. Because right now the next game is the next game. Put yourself in the position of coach. I want you to put yourself in the position of coach, and you're the coach using your personality, using your philosophy. What do you do to
right
turn?
the ship.
Because this is what's crazy though. Before you say that, this is what's crazy, coach. Don't you know we could be 7-3, and we could be disappointed?
Yeah, because that's where whenever we, I guess we can go ahead and admit that it's not kayfabe or whatever. We do talk about what the show's going to be about, and discussing Bruce. I just kind of went over it in my mind, and I was like, what? Because we didn't have this podcast or this show in the preseason. So, what do you define as success? Like, I know the goalpost moves when you become 5-0, but like
It moved. It moved.
it
Coach,
moved. The goalpost moved, but should it have? Like, can you not? Like, if I would have told you at the beginning of the season, Bruce will be 5-2 through 7 games, would you have taken it?
Coach, at the beginning of the season, when people ask me what will be a good year, I said 7-3. But
You're on
speaking,
pace for it right now.
but speaking from a coach standpoint, I always bring up that year I had with Karan his senior year. The goalposts moved, and just getting the second seed was no longer acceptable. Now, if you'd have told me at the beginning of the year we would be the number 2 team in the division, I would have been like, after the year we had just had, man, I'll take it. I'll take it. But when the winning streak happened, when all of this stuff happened, and we got the winning ball games and all of that stuff happened, then the goalposts moved. And now just being a second seed was no longer enough for us. We got the second seed, but we crashed and burned in the playoffs.
Yeah, and I think, that's my thing. Like, I think the goalpost shouldn't move as far, like, if you're a fan. Now, I think coaching the way they do it
come
is
on,
different. But we're talking.
Yeah, fans gonna be over the top, man.
But that's who we're talking to. I mean, we're not talking to the coaching staff. Like, I'm not speaking to Darbone and his staff. Like, I'm talking to the people who are listening and wanting coverage on it. And I think that the only way the goalpost moves, it doesn't move in a standpoint of, when the fans came into the season, our goal should be, let's get back to a winning record. Let's get into the playoffs. After what last year was, I think that's fair. Like, let's just go have a winning record. When you look at the last 10 years of Bruce football, that's probably, if I'd have told 100 Bruce fans, we're going to give you a winning record and a possibility to host a playoff game, they'd all took it. But where I do think at the same time the goalpost does move is, you got through the first 5 games 5-0. You played I'm not saying this is a bad Water Valley team, but this isn't 2018 Water Valley. And this East Union team hadn't had a win before last night. So could you say that if I broke down the season in parts, did you have failures? And I think you could clearly say yes there. But a winning record and a possibility still of hosting a playoff game is on the table. So you can't say that this isn't what you would have signed up for back in late July, early August.
Okay. All right. We was looking at it in a fan standpoint. All right. Let's take it to us.
Okay.
Now, 5 years ago, if you would have told us that we was going to be consistently 8-9 wins a season, we would have took it.
Mm-hmm.
That's not acceptable now.
But why is it? Well, I mean,
Because we got
When I was a coach, if
championship
you'd have told me
expectations.
that, now if we're gonna put ourselves in the mindset of the coach, if you'd have
No, we-
told me
fans.
that I would have won 8 or 9 games, I would have not been happy with it. And which I can't say that because I didn't have very many successful runs. I probably would have been happy with it, but I put when we got through the end of the summer and we went to fall camp, I and every week after game 1, I tried to put a plan together that was a winning plan. Like I had no, you always had a feeling about how things would go, but I never questioned like, am I going to put my players in position to be successful? And if they weren't, you're disappointed. So when you put it from that perspective, the competitor in me, there's no satisfaction other than winning. So I can't even, I couldn't, 5-2, I'd be infuriated right now. If I was on the staff, I'd be infuriated that one got away last night.
Yeah. And it's not just the staff, but, if the staff is infuriated, do that times 20 when you're dealing with fans.
Yeah.
Fans overinflate everything. Fans are going to be upset. Fans, even though fans will come from the standpoint of the fans come from the standpoint of seeing the car. They don't know what's in the car. They don't know what makes the car move. They just see the car, and you're not driving the car correctly. That's what a fan see. Even me, I have to catch myself sometimes. I could tell Lane Kiffin everything he needs to do, knowing if I was put on the spot, I wouldn't know what to do. I wouldn't know what to do. But I'm a fan. I'm a fan. I'm going to be critical of everything if it's not favorable. That's a fan. So we can't say it's unfair because here's the life of a high school coach. The players get the credit for the win. You get the credit for the loss. That's it.
Absolutely.
That's it. To this day, Coach Phil Ferguson, the only state champion in Bruce, still get criticized from his own team. They do.
Yeah.
They don't give him the credit. They say the players did that. I went through that. The players did it. The players did it. They don't even look at that you put the players in position to be successful. But the players did it. But if you lose that game, good example, 2014 year, Tyreek was our up man on the punt. I don't know what he heard, but Tyreek yelled the fake punt audible. And we was on our 30-yard line. And when he yelled it, before we could say no,
It was a done deal.
the fans, stupid, that's stupid, and blah, blah, blah. We didn't call it, but we throw the kid under the bus. But what it looks like, it's our fault. You just ran a fake punt at the 30-yard line. That was the dumbest play that you could ever run. We didn't run it. We didn't run it. So,
And talking about how you can't throw the player under the bus, I think it's a sign of a good staff is saying like, hey, that's on us. That he got, for some reason, he thought that was the call and it wasn't. Like, that's the sign of a good staff. He ain't never gonna hear this. Hugh Freeze, that man will throw his players under the bus.
Everybody.
It is never him. He's got to have 5 offensive coordinators just so that he don't have to take the blame. Like somebody calls first down plays, somebody calls second down plays, somebody calls red zone plays. So
there have been times.
Don't get me started on that.
In my basketball coaching career, Bruce, I have just taken the blame for a lot of stuff that I just say it's on me. I tell my players, just tell them, Coach, put you in the wrong position. Because I don't want that pressure on them. They got enough by dealing with me. But the fans don't know that.
And they're teenagers.
The fans just see, man, one of the things I hate hearing the most, Coach, man, they need to run. Man, what you think we do every day?
Exactly.
Like, have you got out here and played a full game? Teacher versus student proved to me that, yeah, I don't care how much you run, you still gonna get tired. Ain't nobody bionic out here. Coach, you need to them girls need to run. That's what we do, man.
Yeah.
So I'm with you to an extent, and I'm curious, man. This is definitely, Wednesday we were talking about, going into the fall break week. No big deal.
Yeah, I kind of wondered about that.
Now it is a big deal. Now it is a big deal. I mean, we done dropped 2 straight games going into the fall break. Whew.
But I still think, you know, and I've got to be careful about how I say this because it was an emotional team last night, but I don't think it was emotional in a bad way. I mean, it's good that you feel a certain way about losing, and I think you got to hope that if they felt that way about losing, that means they're gonna want to fix that Monday, and you don't have to worry about that. I thought that.
I won't say what the seniors said, but it was some comments that I'm pretty sure if some people don't show up, they might be done with. Because seniors had some things to say in that huddle,
And that's good.
And it wasn't no wishy washy. No, it was very adamant. If you blankety blank, don't blankety blank, blank blank, blank 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 blank. And it was a battle cry, like enough is enough. And I don't know if that's because some things have went on that we're not aware of because we're not at the practices. We don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
We're not in the locker room. We don't know what's going on. Sometimes there can be things that because winning will hide some things. Bad habits can get hid by wins. So sometimes you can win and you'll let some things go. Not saying that's happened out there, but sometimes when you're winning, you'll let some things. You'll let some things.
Right.
And then when you lose, then that's when you want to really call out some things. It ain't a problem until it's a problem.
Right. Like you said, I have no idea what's going on out there. I just cover what I see on Fridays and then take that to make notes that we can talk about during the week. I don't know anything about that. But I do think that from my time there, and I'm not putting down any players or anything, but losing feels different with this group than it did when I was there. I just thought that it just seemed like it was something that happened. And here these kids are like, this should not be happening. I just get that vibe from them. Like they respond differently in the moment than when I was there.
Before we get out of here, I did talk to 2 of them this morning, and it was some things that I just wanted to share with them. And you can see the maturity in a few of the players. And one of them was very immature for the last couple of years. And to see, I walked up to him. Well, he was coming by, and I said, "Are you mature enough to get some real criticism from me?" He said, "Yes, sir, coach." And when I say his eyes never left me. And then another one walked up, and we was in the hallway. And I said some things that was real. That they got some of that trail love. How I used to treat Trail. Tay them, how I talk to them, and there is a maturity there. There's a maturity there, and like I said last night, at this point, get to the playoffs.
What in your mind fixes it? Gets them back on the. If you could point out anything, what do you see?
This is the most broad and cliche thing. Win.
Yeah.
And not just the game. Win the quarter. Win the series. There need to be wins. There need to be because I think now the losing of the game is because we're losing the series or we're losing the matchup. We're losing the block. It's a combination of a bunch of losses. I think now, winning that block, linemen, completing the block and getting it, they got to feel that's a win. And I think winning starts to because the thing is, football is a momentum sport, and it can be a short momentum, and it can be a long. If you start losing momentum, it just sometimes it's hard to stop it. You can be playing good or playing okay, but you can't stop the bleeding for some reason. And we just got to find a way to stop the bleeding. If you can get the bleeding stopped, then you can go find out where the cut is. But right now, the bleeding is so bad because of expectation now that you're trying to find the cut, but you're wiping off so much blood, you don't know where it's coming from. If we can get the bleeding to stop, sometimes, when you put a tourniquet on, I remember when I cracked my head, they put that thing on my head and it was so tight, I hated it. A tourniquet is uncomfortable,
Yeah.
but it's there to stop the bleeding. They got to be uncomfortable now, so we can stop the bleeding, so we can find the cut, so we can fix the problem. You fix the problem, the bleeding stops.
You're such a poet, man. Mine don't sound anything. Mine don't sound anything like
But I
that.
thought about it that time when I bust my head. They put that wrap. It was so tight I couldn't even raise my eyebrow. But they had to stop the bleeding
Yeah.
to fix the problem. I couldn't stay there and keep bleeding. And that's
Right.
what we're doing right now. We're bleeding right now, and we
And
just got.
for me, I think you're always going to make mistakes in a football game. You got to play the next play, but they're critical mistakes like turnovers and turnovers in bad fit. Like to me, there was 2 turnovers that even if you don't score on those drives, but you have success, the momentum doesn't flip and you put the game away, or maybe not put the game away, but
But
you have a
keep it.
chance to extend.
Yeah.
You could extend. And then I think if you're going to be a team that doesn't have like true kicking, you've got to find a way. You're stealing points at that point.
Yeah.
You've got to find a way to get to 75% on 2-point plays, or because a few of them may change. If you convert a few more 2-point plays, that may change the way Water Valley or East Union thinks about their situation when they get down there and they have to have it then, not like, well, it'd be nice to have the 2-point. No, we have to have it. We were in this position where we had to have it last night. And then also without a kicking game, they've got to figure out some way. I feel like defensively, if we score, we're not kicking the ball deep very often. I feel like field position, like the opponent's starting field position, they're already at a huge advantage from the jump. So I'm not as poetic in what I think would fix a lot of things as you were. But
You just translated what I said. Well, Coach, man, we went over a lot of time, but we will be back with everyone, Coach. Let's do Sunday night, man, if we can.
I'm sorry to everyone that I know. Thank you, Coach, for carrying it till I could get back on. This is a new setup for me, and I'm gonna try to. I told Kerry, I want to get a MacBook. I've got to get something where this flows better. So I just apologize for the hiccup at the beginning.
Hey, we found the bleeding, and we cleaned it off, and we fixed the cut.
Yeah.
Guys, we thank everybody that joined us tonight, those that joined us on TikTok, those that joined us on YouTube Live. Just make sure that you have your subscribe to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to this episode anytime you want to listen to it. I'm going to listen to it tomorrow during the game. So we appreciate everybody. Thank you for all of your support, all of your love. And until we see you again, find that cut and fix that thing, and let's go back to winning again. That's